Wow, Larry Friend is such an incredible writer. When I read his children's books, I am pulled into the story. So I would propose to you that his books are for children and for adults too. And the book that we're going to talk about with Larry is Icy the Iceberg. And Larry, I can see behind you, you've got a beautiful poster that has Icy the Iceberg on it.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
tell
Yeah.
us the story of Icy the Iceberg.
Well, Icy the Iceberg started when my wife and I went to Alaska. We've been there twice, but the first time we went with Holland America, and it was a smaller boat, and we did the inside passage. So on the inside passage, I'd sit out on the deck and I'd watch the scenery go by, and then I went to and then with that small boat, we were able to get into the glacier, I think Mendenhall Glacier, and see it calving, and that's what I just saw this thing break off and make like a loud sound like a gunshot, and it fell into the water, and this wave came, and I just made an impression on me, and then all the whales and everything and the seals, I saw that. So I was in the boat, and I'm not really, I didn't start as an author, but I went up in the library of the boat, and I was up there for a couple hours, and I came back, and my wife said, "Where were you?" And I said, "I had this inspiration for this story, Icy the Iceberg," and so I wrote it. And then my sister illustrated it. I showed her the book, and for my birthday present one time, she did all the illustrations, and that's where it came from. I didn't know how to put it together. I had a friend that used to work for DreamWorks, and he's the one. He went to our church, and he's the one that helped us put it together. And so that was the first book. It's a shorter book, but if you read the book, inside there's a lot of information that talks about weather, how snow's made, and how rain, and then how snow falls, and how under the pressure it makes a glacier, and then it breaks off into an iceberg. And so that's how it was. I could have probably added a few more characters, but I did all the characters that I actually saw when we were in Alaska.
Was it fun for you to put this together? I mean, I can just imagine you're seeing these things and your mind clicks, and then poof, you come up with these ideas, and then you pull it together.
Yeah,
Was
I
it
don't
really
know.
fun?
I always wondered like songwriters and things. I have a terrible memory for songs, lyrics, and everything, but my mind is very good at stories. I always was a storyteller, but it comes into my mind, and it just runs with it. So that's what it was. But the biggest thing was working with my sister. She just did some great illustrations, and Icy's such an adorable character. And over the years, they've given us. We had a person that made snowflake cookies, and they made and then we've had ornaments and things. So the Icy is really, really cute.
Where do you see yourself as an author, Larry, like in 5 years?
Well, I have a couple books out. One recently called "Snowy the White Dove of Love." That was a true story, partly a true story. I can explain that later. But I really, the only other thing if being an author takes a lot of time and a lot of thought. And I'm writing another book called. Well, it was my wife. We've been married 55 years, but I made when we first got married, we only knew each other a month, so about 2 months, and then we didn't have any money, so we lived on a farm with an outhouse. We didn't have any bathroom for 2 years, so and then I always liked log cabins, so I happened to find a log cabin about 20 years ago in Libertyville. That's where I wrote my other book about squirrels. And so that's a log cabin. So I'm going to write our story because it was a very interesting story about what we went through all our life. And so that's what I'm going to work on next. And I'm going to call it Outhouse to Log House. So that's what I want to do. But I think in the next couple of years, I'd like to get that out. And then I have a lot of stories with my granddaughter. She would like us do one about a groundhog, a grumpy groundhog or something. So I might do that. But you don't know what I'm going to come up with because I just think of all these things. I see a lot of humor in life,
That's great to see the humor in life, and you can tell that in Icy the Iceberg, no question about that. So if people want to find out more about you and the books, etc., where can they go?
Well, I would like, now I have a website, LarryFriendPublications.com, because I'm publishing my own books, or LarryFriend.com. If you go on to Larry Friend Publications, go direct. Also, Larry Friend, who was .com, was done by a friend of ours. That his her husband's a news reporter in Chicago. They will link because I want to keep it with her.
All right, excellent. So to find out more about Larry's books and Icy the Iceberg, go there. Larry, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.